All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a moment here. Welcome to tonight's Billion Dollar Mind. I like that, Lindsay. Billion Dollar Mind Zoom seminar. And I will be introducing officially John Austin in just a few moments. But I am going to do some intros also. So if you haven't already done so, I would love for you in the chat to tell us who you are and tell us where you're from. And we're going to read off some of the names here while you're typing in the chat. Hey, John, do you need the controls tonight, buddy? Do you need is there anything you're going to be showing from your side that you need to show, or do you want me to take
Um,
notes on my side?
I yeah, once you turn it over to me, I'll need some controls.
Okay, got it, got it, got it. All right. I'll tell you what, let's go on and do that now. You hold on. Bear with me. Let me find you, John. All righty, all righty. Great to have everyone here. I'm looking for John so I can give him the controls here. Bear with us. Well, that's a good thing. That means there's a good number of you already on the Zoom. John, where art thou?
Does that help if I talk?
Here we go.
Maybe that.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, yeah, I needed that. Thank you. All right. Make host. There you go. All right. So I have made you host. All right. So let's go in here. Let's do a few intros. Let's see here. We've got, well, they came in. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hey, Joseph from Colorado. Welcome, my friend. And we've got Lindsay. Lindsay is my brother from another mother from down under. Y'all hear that lyrical miracle? You hear that the hip hopness? Did y'all hear that? All around. Oh, that was so good. Mario from Springfield, Massachusetts. Gene, hey Gene. Good to have you from Connecticut. C. Parker from Michigan, and Michael J. from Kansas. We've got Murray. You're not sure where Murray is from. We we've got
California, California.
California. Welcome, welcome. All right. We've got Cowboy Jim. Everybody, reach your hands out to Cowboy Jim. Cowboy Jim needs deliverance. He is a Dallas Cowboys fan. Let's pray for him. But he's full of gratitude. Albert from Denver, Colorado. Hey, Pete from Vegas. LK from the great state of Washington. Ron from Dalton, Georgia. Christina from Vero Beach, Florida. Jack from Largo, Florida. So we got Florida in the house here. Lindsay is from Brisbane. Did I? Oh, is it Brisbane? Is it Brisbane? Did I say that right? Australia.
Brisbane. Yeah.
Brisbane. All
Well,
right. All
Brizzy.
right.
Brizzy.
Brizzy. All right.
Brizzy.
Yusuf from Minnesota. Bernice from Connecticut. Jeff from Indiana. Rose Billion from New Jersey and the Philippines.
Very, very good.
Uh-oh.
There we go. We're gonna let's start with the video presentation.
Danny, let's get
That's
you
Danny.
out here, buddy. Oh, I can't mute Danny out because you've got the controls. So thank you, Danny. At least we're quiet here. All right. And Kevin and Barbara and Alvin and Suzette and Agnes and Bob and Bernice and Lucky and Rolf and Christina, Veronica, Jay, Kent, David, um, Pete, Ron, Christina again, Vlad, G, and Andrew, Rosemary, Linda, Little Bruh, Sean Nickens, M. Strong, Phil, Heather, and the names keep coming, and I can't follow all the names. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Billion Dollar Mind. We are very close to launching this baby, and tonight you're going to hear from our lead mentor. This was Billion Dollar Mind was put on his heart and pressed upon his heart. I'm excited to be able to work alongside with him. And since I've been in the home business space for 30 years, it is so refreshing, so refreshing to do business with someone that they have integrity, that they have character, that their name and their word means something. And so, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to have a tremendous impartation from our lead mentor of Billion Dollar Mind, John Austin. John, it's yours, my friend.
Thank you, Professor. And welcome everybody to our seminar this evening. I'm going to start out by asking a question or explaining a question, maybe an answer. Why did we choose the name Billion Dollar Mind? And why not Billion Dollar Mind instead? Well, first of all, money is neither good nor bad. It is the owner of the money that determines what it's used for. On the other hand, there are some billionaires who are benevolent, but there are many who are not. There are many billionaires who have made their money by hurting people and by squeezing money out of the poor. The billion dollar mind is a mind that vibrates at the frequency of $1 billion. And what we now know is that you are constantly creating something, whether or not you are consciously aware of it, and you are creating whatever you're resonating with. So take a moment and ask what you're currently resonating with. And I'm going to start some music here to maybe help us just kind of get in a mind of visualization. How is that? How's the volume on that? The volume on the music. Can you hear the music?
I cannot. I do not hear any music.
Okay, I'm glad I asked. If I can find my controls.
The escape key, and that should bring up your
No,
control.
we're okay. We're okay.
Got it. Okay.
How about that?
You can turn it up a little.
Okay. Find my volume control. How's that?
That's good. That's good.
Okay, so let's all take a moment and ask, what are you currently resonating with? What are you feeling? Are you feeling abundance? Are you feeling an expectancy of good things coming into your life? Are you in a flow where everything is going your way? If not, you are likely creating some things that you are not going to appreciate when they show up. Now ask yourself if you would feel differently if you had $1 billion. What are some things that would change in your life? What would that look like? What would it feel like? Close your eyes for a minute and relax. Now take a deep breath and relax even further. You see, the $1 billion mind can fully relax because it has no financial worries. Take another deep breath and continue to relax even further. Take another deep breath and just continue to breathe deeply as you relax even further. It is important that you take time each day to train your mind. You can do so multiple times per day if you find the time, but never miss doing it at least before going to sleep and right when you wake up in the morning. Start by counting backwards from 25 to 1. This will take your mind away from the cares of the world and allow you to get into that deep state of relaxation where you can contact the feelings in your heart center and begin to change them. The scripture tells us that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Take a deep breath, and as we count backwards, feel yourself relaxing even further, and feel your mind coming into contact with your heart center. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Feel yourself relaxing even more. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Take another deep breath and relax even deeper. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are now at a level of relaxation where you can focus upon your feelings. Focus upon your chest, your heart center. You may feel a warm, tingling feeling. Now take another deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine what it would feel like if right now you had $1 billion. Don't allow your logical mind to interfere with your thoughts like it's impossible. At one time, it was impossible for anyone who has ever become a billionaire. It started becoming possible with a shift in consciousness and a shift in feeling. Remember, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Take another deep breath, and as you enjoy this wonderful feeling of having $1 billion and all of your financial obligations immediately taken care of, no more worries, because anything your heart could desire is available at your command. And while you do this, begin to understand that the scripture is true, which says, whatsoever you ask in faith believing, you shall receive. The $1 billion mind has faith that it will receive anything it asks for that costs money. That belief can be expanded into other things, like perfect health and amazing relationships. But first, we want to take care of the money worries that are causing stress, because stress is a major cause of many of our mental and bodily ailments. So take another deep breath and surround yourself with the feeling of having $1 billion. You can almost float away on that feeling. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And when I finish, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health and better than before. You will have no ill effects in your hearing or buzzing in your ears, no ill effects whatsoever with your vision and eyesight. Your vision and eyesight and hearing will improve every time you function at these levels of mind. 1, coming out slowly now. At the count of 3, you will open your eyes and be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than ever before, feeling the way you feel when you've had the right amount of refreshing, relaxing, healthy, wonderful sleep. 3, eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that.
Could have stayed right there. Man, I love your meditations. My gosh.
All right, so we're going to do a little recap. Um, as those of you have been here in other seminars, many years ago, I um, began seeking to know the Lord. This was a 11-year trek for me. And during that time, I asked many questions, among which was, how do I get the kind of faith that can receive anything I ask for? I've always believed the scripture to be true, but nobody ever preached a sermon that I heard on how to get that kind of faith. It was simply just have faith and everything's going to be taken care of. And that's true. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added. And the kingdom of heaven is actually faith. There's a scripture that likens the kingdom of heaven to a mustard seed, and another scripture that likens faith to a mustard seed. It's the same mustard seed, folks. And as long as I thought it was two different things, you see, it fractured my mind. And I'm seeking two different things. Well, a divided mind really is not very successful. It just doesn't get anywhere. We need to become focused. And so understanding this really made it much easier for me to focus on one thing. And as the Lord began to teach me these 4 principles of faith, and I began to exercise them, my life literally began to change. It wasn't overnight. It takes time. Faith is like a muscle that grows strong with exercise. And that's why we want to do this, at least twice a day, multiple times a day. And when you first wake up in the morning, yes, you can use the restroom, uh, get a drink of water, but don't light up your cell phone. That blue light it does something, it immediately shocks the brain and takes you right out of that alpha state, uh, that creative state. So if you'll just, sit back down, count backwards from 25 to 1, and then begin to imagine the feelings of the things that you want or the thing that you want. What I come to realize, if you can focus on one thing, that will take care of all or a majority of the other things that you need to take care of. That's really where you need to center your focus. And that way, it will literally begin to happen even faster. It's a good idea to write down, make a list of all the things that you want. So as time passes by, you can check those off, and then you'll really understand that this is working for you. If you're not keeping some kind of a record, then you might get discouraged. But if you're making notes all the time of your progress, etc., you will see that your life is taking on some tremendous, tremendous changes. So the first principle of faith is gratitude. Gratitude being a contraction of 2 words, great attitude. And we know that altitude is determined by attitude. So the greater the attitude, the greater the altitude. And you understand what I'm saying. not necessarily just height like an airplane, but things get better. Everything gets better in your life as your attitude improves. Next being vision. The Bible says, write your vision and make it plain. And this is why you should write down all the things that you want and even describe them in detail. If you were going to build a house, you would obviously draw a blueprint. You would want to make sure that every detail, every door, every window was in its perfect place, because that's what the carpenters are going to go by. And when that house is completed, that's what it's going to look like. So you want to do this with all of your plans. You want to be very certain of what you want. And most people don't get what they want because they really don't know what they want. So write your vision and make it plain. Step number 3 is surrounding your heart or surrounding yourself with the feeling of already having that which you're asking for. Of course, that's what we just did in the meditation, is to surround yourself with that feeling of already having that thing that you're asking for. Now back to the $1 billion. We have an opportunity. We're going to present an opportunity for those who want to stay around after our seminar that will literally give you the ability to become a billionaire, I believe. I'm not making any guarantees, any promises, but based upon, our research and the knowledge that I have, I believe that anybody here can literally use these principles and the vehicle that we're going to be talking about to become a billionaire. It's not going to happen overnight. And I don't think you're going to find an overnight billionaire anywhere. The crypto billionaires have gotten there faster than anybody else, and that's what we're going to be doing. But number 3, surround yourself with the feeling of already having that which you're asking for. Now, it's very important that you start becoming aware of your thoughts and feelings. God gave us all awareness. He made us equal in that respect. We all have awareness. Some of us don't choose to use it. We just get in the stream and we float wherever the stream goes. But we need to be observant of our thoughts and our feelings. And as these feelings pop up, which they will, thoughts and feelings that are not congruent, do not resonate with the $1 billion, we have to ask, where are these thoughts coming from? And do they resonate with the $1 billion? And if not, then you need to let them go. And literally, when you begin this practice of being aware, asking where these thoughts are coming from, do they resonate with what you want to create? And you realize they don't, it's pretty easy to let them go and then focus again on that feeling of what you're trying to create. Literally, if you could carry that feeling with you 24 hours a day, the things that you're wanting to create would show up faster and faster. And the scripture even says that you will reach the time when the things will show up before you even ask for them. So the more proficient you become in carrying those feelings all the time, the faster they're going to show up. And even you'll reach the time when they show up before you even ask for them. Number 4 is affirmation. What does affirm mean? It means to make firm from that which is infirm. Well, photons of light are infirm, and they make up everything in the universe. The scripture says, faith is the substance of things hoped for. That's photons of light. And the evidence of things unseen. That is writing your vision and making it plain. It's been there in front of our eyes all of this time, folks. It's been there. We just didn't see it. We didn't understand it. Nobody explained it to us. Feeling is the secret. feeling is the secret. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is eternal law, folks. It's eternal law. You change the heart, and your outward experience is going to change. The things that come into your life are going to be bigger and better and more enjoyable. With that, let's go ahead, Professor, and I'll turn it over to you. Let you talk about our wealth creation vehicle. So, folks, that does conclude our seminar. If you'd like to stick around for a few minutes and see what we have, a little vehicle you can use to create all the wealth you could possibly imagine, you're welcome to stay.
All right, I need you to relinquish the controls there. There we go. Thank you. Please make it difficult for me. You give this such powerful information, and I want to stay right where you are. And now I have to go and talk about how folks can become a billionaire.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. All right, give us a moment as we change over. Bear with me just a moment here.
As you draw out your 2s and 4s, why don't you just leave them there instead of erasing them each time? I think it will help us to follow your line of reasoning better. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Gotcha. All righty. All right. So I want to share this first and foremost. Let me bring this up. I want to bring up my calculator. John shares give me a moment, shares his experience that he was introduced to Bitcoin when Bitcoin was going for just 5 cents. Okay. And the example he uses is if he had bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. Now, if you had bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin when it was going for 5 cents, and let's say he still just held on to it, he kept it, that would be 20,000 Bitcoin. Now, today, Bitcoin was going, when I pulled this chart, for $66,444.92. So let's see this idea of billion-dollar mind and John saying we're going to create billionaires. Let's see how far-fetched that is. Well, maybe it's not. That would be worth $1.3 billion had he had the foresight when he was introduced to Bitcoin to get it for 5 cents. Okay. Well, now here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. This train has left the station. Bitcoin has had its gargantuan growth. Might it go to 130,000? Sure, that'd be a doubling from where it is now. All right. But nothing like 5 cents. Uh-oh. Hold on. I don't think I can. You still have the controls, I think. So I can't mute somebody out if they are. But you can, John, if you see them. Okay. All right. So now Bitcoin has left the station. All right. From the standpoint of the gargantuan type of returns. So what we're going to do is we're going to leverage another asset that's going for far less than 5 cents. All right. Actually, it's a little under 2 cents today. I'll show you that in a few moments. But it's been hanging around 2 cents for a while. But some of the pundits out there are saying that this asset could get to 40,000 in time. Now, what we want to do here, Billion Dollar Mind, is every one of you that chooses to participate in what I refer to as the generational wealth model, we want to help you accumulate no less than 1 million of these Flare tokens. So Flare is what we're going to be using. Flare in, Flare out. If you're new to crypto or you don't know anything about Flare, that's okay. We'll take you by the hand. We'll make sure that you know how to go from fiat cash to Flare. Payouts are going to be in Flare. We'll make sure you know how to go from Flare back to usable, spendable cash for taking care of, your expenses and things of that nature. But ultimately, we want you to have such a surplus that you're able to grow your flare balances to at least $1
And
million.
let's make it clear, because there are some people that are buying some flare right now. There's more than one flare, and this one has this little red, that's the logo for flare, and the ticker symbol is FLR. Okay, so if you're buying flare, this is the one you want to get. It's available on quite a few places. ChangeNow.io I think is one of the cheaper. So there's going to be a little difference in price between the different exchanges. ChangeNow.io, if you can get it there, I think you'll probably get a little extra number of coins for the amount of money you spend.
Right. And by the way, in your chat box, we've listed a couple of things there. So it should be close to the bottom, unless there's been some questions that just came in. We listed the John's meditation. I love that meditation. That's the meditation I use. You want to use that in the morning and in the evening. I can tell you my day goes a lot better when I start my day off with that meditation, and then ending the day with the meditation. And then we've also included our Telegram link. You can join our free Telegram link. We make a lot of posts in there, a lot of videos in there. All right, so Flare's only 2 cents right now, a little less than 2 cents as of today. And we want to help you accumulate at least 1 million Flare coins. Why? Because Flare doesn't have to get to 40,000 if you've got 1 million Flare coins. So let's not even say 40,000 right now. If Flare gets to $4 and you've got 1 million Flare, there's 4 million right there. If Flare gets to $40 and you've got 1 million Flare, that's 40 million. Now we start to walk in. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Good woman leaves an inheritance for her children's children. If Flare gets to 100 and you got 1 million Flare, there's your billionaire. $1 billion mind. Now, folks, I've been in this industry for 30 years. I've made millions in this industry, but I've never been a part of a company where I saw myself being a decamillionaire, 10 plus, a centimillionaire, 100 million plus, or a billionaire. Never even crossed my mind in this space. All right, so now that's our vision. Write that vision, make it plain. Now, let's talk about the donation plan itself. All right. So there's no monthly subscription. So nobody's going to have a monthly bill. We have low, medium, high ticket. So we're using a donation model, which is basically leveraging another universal law. What's the law? It's sowing and reaping. And it goes like this. We have to, we reap what we sow. Number one, we reap what we sow. Number two, we've got to sow to reap. Number three, when we reap more than what we sow. All right, so we got a low, medium, high ticket donation package and low, medium, and high ticket payouts. You'll see that in a few moments. Now, this is one of the most important parts, is that we have an 80% payout to one person. Now, why is that important? Again, been in this industry for 30 years in the make money from home, make money online niche. Typically what happens, let's say we're promoting a company that has a great nutritional product. That company can't afford to pay out 80%. Why? Because they have to, pay for the product being made. And so usually in our space, in the make money from home, make money online niche, you have a 35 to maybe a 50% payout. We have an 80% payout. One. Number two, that 80% payout is going out to one person. All right. So what typically happens in our industry is you've got a lower payout, 35 to 50% with most companies. All right. And then that payout is even further diluted because they're paying out 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 people. And so the challenge is my Joe and my Susie average, they haven't been very successful at those types of models because they had to build a gargantuan team. What you're going to see tonight is you might just refer one person, and that one person uh, uh, could be huge for you financially. You'll see that in a few moments. All right, some other highlights: unlimited width, unlimited depth. You'll understand that in just a few moments. Single payouts. All right, so we've got low, medium, and high ticket donation packages and payouts. So donation, the smallest is $8 that you would receive. A $10 donation, you're getting 80% of that. But in time, you could qualify, and our aim is to get you to qualify, and our aim is to get other folks that's connected to you to where they've gone through our entire donation tree. And when that happens, then you could get a $16,000 payout. Now, when I say dollar, I may say $16 or $16. That's all in Flare. So $8 in Flare, $16,000 in Flare. And again, we'll make sure that you know how to convert as much Flare as you need to into usable, spendable cash to take care of what you need to take care of. Okay. Payouts are going to be on demand. So for those of you that have been in this industry and you had someone that did business with you today, but you had to wait until the 15th of next month, or you had to wait until a month from now, or you had to wait until the next week, or what have you, that ends here. Someone makes a donation today. You go in your back office, you see, oh, I've got some Flare there. Did y'all hear that? I've got some Flare there. Oh my gosh, the lyrical miracle has struck again. I've got some Flare there. You hit a button, and now that Flare goes right to your wallet. It's called a DeFi wallet. It stands for decentralized finance. It's basically your crypto bank. The only one that has access to it is you, and if you've given access to a loved one or what have you. All right, what are the donation amounts? They are $10 on the left-hand side is the donation amount, the optional donation amounts. On the right-hand side is the payout. All right. So when I make a $10 donation, I'm now qualified to receive donations at that level. I would make an $8 payout when someone donates $10 to me through the system. Now, I can have as many people, I can refer as many folks, and I'll show you how this can be leveraged. So you can have literally tens, hundreds, thousands of folks making donations to you. So the $50 donation is going to pay out $40. The $100 donation, $80. 250, 200, 80% every donation, 80% gets paid out. Now, when we go to the, give me a moment. Now, when we go to the medium ticket, I would call a medium ticket like a $500, $1,000 donation, 2,500 maybe. Then we get into the high ticket, $5,000 and up. $5,000 donation, 4,000 being paid out to one person. 7,500, 10,000. And here's the beautiful part. By the time you do a $20,000 donation, there's a $16,000 payout. Well, let's say that someone connected to you does that $16,000 payout. I'm sorry, does that $20,000 donation to you, and you get a $16,000 payout. Guess what has already happened? That means that before you got the $16,000 payout, give me a moment. Where's my pen? Where'd my pen go? A pen went somewhere. Oh, there we go. Okay. That means that somebody before they did this, they did the 20,000, you got 16 grand. Before that happened, they did this. And you got 12 grand and before they did that, they did this. And you got 8. Before they did this, they did this. And you got 6. When you do the math, folks, just under 50,000 in donations that you can receive from one person.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Somebody could actually come in and make a $20,000 donation without donating on these other ones. So the question is, are they going to lose the money that they would have earned in those other levels? And the answer is no. So you can come in at whatever level. In other words, instead of having to come in at the 10, the 50, the 100, etc., you can choose one level that matches your bank account. and come in at that level, you are not going to lose money. If somebody, in other words, you bring in somebody that comes in at the $10, are you going to lose the $8 commission? No, you're not. What that's going to do is going to bank that $8 toward your $10 upgrade.
But do I need to go back?
Yeah, that's fine. Go back.
Okay. Whoops. There we go. All right.
Okay, so
Continue.
let's say that you came in at $100. That's what you have. You have $100. You didn't want to come in at 10 and 50 because that would only be 60. You'd have $40 left in your bank account you're not using. So you come in straight at the $100. But you sponsor somebody that comes in at the $10. That's going to throw an $8 commission. That's actually going to go into your commissions, but it's going to be on hold. You can't withdraw it because that's going to help upgrade you to the $10 position.
So can I stop there for just a moment so that everyone gets this? Why was this $8 on hold? Because I did not, in this case, I did not do the $10 donation. I went straight to the $100 donation. Is that correct?
That's right. Now, if you sponsored somebody at the $100, then you would immediately get the full $80. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you don't lose anything by just coming in at $1 amount at a higher level. So that's
Okay.
that's going to simplify it for a lot of people, because if you take the 10 and the 50, that's 60, and 100, 160, and then 250 on top of that, that would be 410.
That's 410. 410.
That would be 410. So, these become odd numbers, which is fine. If you've got the 410, then you just come in at all four of those positions at the same time.
That was the 410 right there, ladies and gentlemen, that he was speaking of. 250, 100 is 350, is 50, is 400, is 410. All right. However, let me tell you what I just heard you say. Let's say a person has a $500 donation budget.
Right.
And so they said, well, let me just come on in at the 500. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done these yet. I haven't done these, but I'm
Right.
going to go on and do the 500. All right. So obviously, if they bring on someone that does a 500, they get this 400 immediately available to them in their wallet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, if they bring on someone that does 10, because they did not do the 10, they opted to come in as much as they could initially. They didn't opt to do the 10. This $8, they don't lose it. It goes on hold. All right. And
Right.
then let's say if they brought on somebody else who came and did 10, that $8 adds to what was already on hold. That's 16. And so that would then automatically upgrade them to the $10 donation. Did I get
Right.
that right?
So let's say you come in at the 500 and you brought somebody in at the 100. You would have $80 that came in, which would pay your 50 and your 10. That would pay 60 and leave you $20 left over toward your $100 coming up.
Got it. Now, what you're hearing, for those who've been with us, that part is new to me. um, so hopefully everybody got that. So what I want you to be thinking about is, what is your donation budget going to be? Okay, what is your donation budget going to be? And that does make it simple. So if my donation budget was 1,000, then instead of doing all of these, I could just come in and do the 1,000, knowing that if a person that I bring aboard, let's say, again, let me get rid of some of this. All right. So let's say I had a budget of 1,000. Okay. All right. And I bring on Paul, and Paul has a budget uh of 100. So he didn't do the 1,000, he did the 100. So that would be $80. $80 would now automatically upgrade me to the 10. All right, you see that? So the system would take 10 of the 80 and upgrade me here. So now I'm upgraded there. it would take 50 of the 80 and upgrade me here. Okay. All right. That's 60. And then I'd have $20 left over that would be on hold because I didn't do these donations myself, but the system automatically upgraded me. That made it very simple, John. So now a person just say, okay, I've got $1,000 budget or $500 budget or 250 budget or what have you. Are we good?
We're good. Yeah, this has been a question that came up a number of times. Well, do I have to do all of these in between? And so this answers that question. This
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. All right. So now, we've got that. All right. So now let's talk about the structure because this structure is so powerful because this is where we really get leverage. All right. So let's say that you are this young lady here. We're going to call her Sue. And in this example, Sue refers Jorge, Sasha, Becky, Paul, Rodney, and Elizabeth. Now, be mindful. You can refer as many as you would like. That's the unlimited width. You can refer as many as you like. Okay. Now, here's some very important things that we want to know. I'm going to put the donation amounts up here. Okay. So let's say you referred Jorge, and Jorge is the first person that makes a donation. Okay. So since he's the first person that made a donation, you are going to get that donation. Okay. So I'm going to say, let's say that you came and you did 1,000. All right. And Jorge also came and did 1,000. Well, that $800 is going to go to you. Now, we already know that if Jorge came in at a lower level, then that lower level, if you have not personally donated these amounts initially, all right, you just came in with 1,000. Okay. Then if Jorge came at 100, then $80 is going to go into your bank, but it's going to go on and upgrade you to the 10 and going to upgrade you to the 50. So that ultimately the whole plan is that you get qualified for all of this. Or maybe you started off with 25 or 5,000. So now you see it's going to be easier for you to get qualified all the way through. Ultimately, we want everyone qualified all the way through the model. Okay. All right. So Jorge is the first person that you've referred. The second person that you refer is Sasha. Now, why do I have her being smaller than Jorge? Because this is where the sowing reaping comes into play. We reap what we sow. We've got to sow to reap, but we will reap more than what we sow. Okay. That's a universal law. Well, what happens here, Sasha is the second person that made a donation. All right. Her donation is going to go upstream. All right. Her donation is going to go upstream. She's a seed that you're sowing into the person that you are connected to. So Jorge's connected to you. Sasha's connected to whoever you're connected to. Okay. The third person that um, uh, Susie brings on is Becky. Since Becky is the third person making a donation, that donation is going to go to Sue. And then the fourth person is Paul. He's going to sew up. He's going to donate up. All right. Same thing. All right. So our second and fourth, that's our seed. Our first, our third, our fifth, our sixth, 17th, 93rd, 173. Anyone from the fifth on, they are connected to you. And when they do their donations, you're going to be the one that benefits from those donations. But this is where it gets really good because it doesn't stop there. So Jorge, he has his first person that makes a donation. That first person is going to make their donation to Jorge. But his second person is going to make their donation to who? Sue. His third person, just like yours, just like Becky was your third person in this example, his third person is going to make a donation to Jorge. His fourth person is going to make a donation to who? Sue. And that's you in this example. Okay. But it doesn't stop there because now number two, they're second and fourth. Number four, they're second and fourth. Then this person right here, they're second and fourth, they're second and fourth, they're second and fourth, they're second and fourth. Doesn't stop. They're second and fourth. This person is second and fourth, 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 to an unlimited depth. All of these folks' second and fourth are connected to you.
Can we make an extremely important observation here?
Yes.
Sue could literally only sponsor one person. And that one person, look what can develop from that one person. Now, each one of these people are potentially worth how much, Professor?
Just under 50,000, 49,500 and some change. Just under 50,000.
So if we could count 20 of these twos and fours just under Jorge, that would be $1 million coming up to who? To Sue. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, but you know what? You know what? It wouldn't just be $1, it'd be $1 million in flair.
$1 million in flair.
It would be $1 million in flair. Now we don't know when this
divided
divided by
divided by 0.02.
Yeah, but right now
it's gonna.
Oh, this would be crazy. This would be crazy.
I don't think your calculator will go that big.
50.
No, divide by point.
Oh no, hold on. I did 100,000, I think. There's $1 million divided by 0.02. Yeah, so that would be 50 million flair. Is right?
No,
that can't be right. That's not right. That's not right.
Oh, actually,
$1 million. I did point. Did I do? Hold on.
Yeah, that's right. That is right.
Divided by 0.02. Yeah. Okay, so
that is right. 50 million.
50 million. So if Flair got to $1, Flair at this point, Flair would only need to get to $20 to be a billionaire.
Right. Okay, so people get this idea, no friends left. I can't recruit anybody. Folks, it isn't about the money. It's about two things. It's about changing your mindset. It's about changing your heart. Because once you do that, you don't need to know how. Okay. There's probably not a single billionaire alive that knew how they were going to become a billionaire. Most of them probably didn't even know they were going to become a billionaire. They just started formulating the right thoughts and the right feelings. And as they progress from one goal to the next goal to the next goal, you see their vibrations kept getting a little bit higher and a little bit higher until that finally happened. But with faith, whatsoever you ask for in faith, believing, and you do not need to know how it's going to happen. Faith will make it happen. Faith will put the right people at the right time, the right circumstances, the right opportunities will come your way as long as you are paying attention and listening and then acting upon the inspiration that comes. Mm-hmm. So folks, this is open and available to every one of you. So get this thinking out of your mind that says, I don't have any friends, I can't do this. Absolutely not. As long as you think that, that will be true. But we've shown you how to change that thinking. Back to you.
So what you're seeing, now this was all happening over here with Jorge. But what about Becky? Let's say in this example, she gets her first. Her first is going to donate to her. Her second, her fourth, donate to you. Their second and fourth, donate to you. Their second and fourth to an unlimited depth. But remember, your fifth, sixth, seventh. So Rodney is your fifth. Elizabeth is your 6. Somebody's a 72nd. Someone's an 80. That, however wide you want to go. All right. And then this goes to an unlimited depth. And the thing is, the thing that's so beautiful here is most, and I'm just about finished, most companies in our space and the entire industry, they put the cart, the income opportunity, before the horse. The horse is the value proposition. That's what's driving this. And the fact that we get to come live twice a week, listen to the recordings, get transformational nuggets throughout the week, uh, do our meditations so that we're working on our mindset and our heart space. See, that's what companies aren't doing. And if we don't begin to deal with those things, if I come to another company and I've got this feeling that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, all right, then it doesn't matter what that compensation plan is. I'm going to feel like I'm worthy, I'm not good enough, and I'm going to be right. But if I come here and I'm doing the faith meditations and John's Tuesday, and we're here on Thursday, and we're getting understanding of, oh, wait a minute, when I have a conscious thought that's contrary to resonating with $1 billion or whatever it is on your vision board. Okay. Let me quickly get out of that stinking thinking and into positive energy, good energy. Well, that, my friends, that's the horse. It's what's happening in our heart as a man thinks in his heart. My heart and my mind. My heart. That's my heart. My heart and my mind. As a man, as a woman thinks in his heart, so is he, so is she. All right, just about finished here. Just about finished.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can we talk about some things to avoid?
sure.
There are literally traps throughout all of life. There are bumps in the road. There are things that throw us off track because we're not thinking correctly. Okay. So many people are going to try to manipulate this and put their weakest people in the number 2 and the number 4.
Right.
That's bad thinking. Okay. Because if that's what you're thinking, that's what you're going to reap. The people that you bring in are going to put their worst people in 2 and 4, and so it's not going to work for you. Okay. As you sow, so shall you reap. That is that is that's an eternal principle, folks. The farmer doesn't save his moldy corn to plant for next season. He saves his very best kernels. Okay, and you need to plant your very best kernels here. But even if you try to manipulate this, it's almost impossible. You might be able to do it through 1 or 2 of the plans, but you will never do it through all 12. The only way you will manipulate it through all 12 is if the first person you sign up goes and pays the entire 12 levels at the same time, then they will be your first person in all 12 positions. Otherwise, these are going to be juggled like shuffling a deck of cards. You're going to have a different person in plan 1, plan 2, plan in different places. They're going to be shuffled back and forth. Sometimes they're going to be in 1, sometimes they're going to be 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, 5, etc. It's impossible for you to manipulate this, so don't even try. Just have the right thinking. Just go to work. Let God decide who comes in first, who pays first. You can sponsor 1,000 people here. It's the first one who pays that's going to determine that first position. It's the second one who pays who determines that second position. And so as you have dozens of people out here and they all pay at different times and progress through the system at different rates, that's what's going to determine who's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So just put on the right thinking, sow good seeds. You want good seeds in every one of these positions. You don't want, if you purposely put a dud in number two, guess what? That dud is going to end up in your number two, or in your one, two, or one, three, five, someplace along the line. That dud is going to end up a dud for you.
Mm.
It's just going to work that way. So don't put duds in here at all. Sow good seeds, folks. And okay, if you'll read our EULA, it's prohibited from sponsoring for other people. You can put your wife in, you can put your children in, but they have to sponsor for themselves. Okay. You cannot sponsor and place somebody in, and this is an honor system, folks. You're agreeing to that. When you join, you're actually agreeing to do that, to be on an honor system where you will only build your own position and you can't have two positions. Each member can only have one position, and you can't recruit for somebody else. People you recruit have to go in your position. So, and no cross recruiting. That's standard in the industry. But folks, if we all do this right, everybody's going to win. Let's don't waste our time, and let's just don't be dishonorable by trying to cheat the system. Let's get beyond that, folks. I did that for many years in network marketing. It was only when I grew up, began sowing good seed, and just letting the system take care of itself. That's when I went to the top of 7 companies and made millions of dollars. Okay. So, let's just avoid these traps, these pitfalls along the way. Let's do it right from the beginning, and it'll work 100 times better for you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just about finished. I do want to share, John. I am going to have now. I think we've done enough on that part.
Yes, yes,
I
we
want
have.
I want to share this, and then we're going to be finished. Okay. So this screenshot is from a couple weeks ago when Flair was right at 2 cents, and the market was down a little bit today. The cryptocurrency market was down a little bit today. Usually, as Bitcoin goes, it tends to lift all boats, and when it goes down, a lot of the other assets go down a little bit also. Now, I want to show you the difference, and I want to go back real quickly. Let's say that you got somebody who comes aboard, they do $1,000 donation, you're qualified there, you get 800 in Flare, 800 in Flare. All right. I want you to see that ultimately accumulating a million Flare is not going to be a lot with our system. Okay. All right. So a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, actually, really even a couple days ago, Flare's going for 2 cents. So let's say you get paid 800 in Flare. Well, when Flare was going for 2 cents, you would have been paid in your back office. It would have been 38,095 Flare. Okay. Not bad. All right. March to a million Flare, 38,095 Flare. Now, obviously, some of you would be converting some of that to usable, spendable cash. All right. But let's just say for right now, 38,095 Flare. Now, look at this. What if that person came aboard and they made that same donation, 1,000 today, when Flare was down to just under 1.8 cents? Move this decimal 2 places to the right. Okay. So right at 1.8 cents. Same $800, but it's paid in Flare. Give me a moment. So instead of 38,000 in Flare, it would have been 44,000 in Flare. Now, why do I bring this up? Because my first foray into the cryptocurrency world was back in 2014, August of 2014. It was a Bitcoin platform. We got paid in Bitcoin. So it was the first time I'd ever bought Bitcoin, bought it for $515 a Bitcoin. over the next few months, Bitcoin went down. It went from 515 down to 4, down to 3, down to 200, all the way down to 166. And I started listening to all the naysayers. They were saying Bitcoin is a scam, it's a sham, it's a Ponzi scheme. And even the company that I was getting paid Bitcoin by, people were saying that's a scam and that's a sham. And I guess what? I listened. And so I stopped promoting. Now I built a little team. And so there was still some activity, but I stopped promoting. All right. Now, what happened was I was getting paid in Bitcoin, but because I stopped building, I had to convert much of that Bitcoin into usable, spendable cash. There was a guy that I referred to that um, opportunity, and he kept on. He kept on. He kept on. 4 years into it, he gets in touch with me, and 4 years after I had referred him, he gets in touch with me through Facebook. He said, "Man, I want to thank you." I said, "Thank you for what?" He says, "Because of you, I'm a multi-millionaire." I said, "Huh?" Because see, I wasn't a multi-millionaire. Huh? What do you mean? What did I do? He said, "You referred me to that company." That's the same company I stopped promoting, in large part because Bitcoin went from 515 down to 166. And what I didn't realize is that's what I want. I was in accumulation phase, or should have been in accumulation phase. Convert what I need to convert to pay bills, but the rest, let that accumulate. And so when I saw this today, I'm saying, I don't want Flare to go to $2 now, or $3 now, or 5 or 15. No, 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 no. I hope Flare stays at 1.8 cents, 1.6 cents, 2 cents for a little while to allow people to accumulate Flare. You see, you accumulated 44,000 based on today's price versus the other day you would have accumulated 38,000. 6,000 more Flare, just about finished. What if Flare gets to $4 and you got 6,000 more Flare just on that one transaction? That's another $24,000 worth of value. What if Flare gets to $10? All right. And you got an extra 6,000 Flare. That's another 60,000 in value. And we're not even talking about it going to 40 or 100 or 40,000. So I wanted you to get that, ladies and gentlemen, while we're at a phenomenal place with timing. We've got leadership that has the heart, integrity, and character. Get in our Telegram room. I promise you, you are not going to want for content that you're going to be able to share with folks to bring them value as a way to introduce them to Billion Dollar Mind. Now, can you say it? Billion Dollar Mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. A good amount of you that first came on are still here. So it's great to have you here. How about we go and do an optional? So this is also optional. Well, before we get into optional Q&A, John, do you have anything you want to share about the pending launch? We do have pre-enrollment has begun. All right. So those of you who are visiting, get back to the person that referred you, ask them for their pre-enrollment link. When you get your pre-enrollment link, when you register, come into our Telegram room. I did a quick video that shows you where to go to get your referral link so that you can start sharing this with others. I can tell you right now, I saw somebody on tonight's Zoom that it was my intent to let them know about Billion Dollar Mind, because this is a fellow marketer. They've been in been at the top of a lot of different companies. I'm talking about the Orcuts. And I was like, oh, darn it. Somebody got to them before I did. But good for them, whoever that them happens to be. Was that you, John?
I don't think so.
Was it you? Oh, man. I saw the Orcuts. All right. I love the Orcuts. I've been in
I'm
business.
sorry, Professor.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Professor. I beat you to it.
Who just said that? Who got the
Alvin,
Orcuts here?
Roger.
For
Roger.
you, Roger. Good
was
for
that
you.
Roger?
Yep.
for you. Good for you, man.
Good for
Good
you,
for you.
Roger.
So, ladies and gentlemen, go on and start putting your questions in the chat box. We'll